And we have an official upset alert. McCartney Kessler, Coco Gauff, and Kessler takes the first set outright. As always, this video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use, the Fair Dealing, and the Digital Millennium Act. In the first set, Coco Gauff would yell, "Too many errors." And I think that gave the motivation McCartney Kessler needed to take the first set outright. She would get the break and not look back as she would hold on to serve out the first set. Coco Gauff would have 5 opportunities to break McCartney Kessler, but could not convert on any of them. And that's the big difference in the first set. As Kessler, she looked shocked, ladies and gentlemen, but I've always told you about her game. She's good between the lines. She's a good shot maker. She's a good rally player. Guys, her first serve to start her first service game, that rally went 13 shots. We're seeing constantly just her effort to continuously get balls back and put Coco on the back foot, forcing Coco to make shots. Now, listen, guys, if I were advising Coco, and I said this time and time again, when you are hot and you've won 22 out of your last 24 matches, the last thing you want to do is take a break, ladies and gentlemen. It is so tough in professional sports, especially a sport like tennis, where the schedule's so grueling. You're traveling to different countries, different cities every week. You have so much business going off the court. When you have your form, it is the last thing you want to do is take a break. And I just felt Coco Gauff, I didn't like the advisement that she got from her management team. And of course, she's a big decision of that. You know, she plays a big role in that. But I didn't like taking such a long break, 3 weeks off after the Australian Open. You got to play one of these 500s. You have to stay fit and loose. It's so tough in tennis to find your form, especially when you're ranked so low, number 3 in the world. You're going to come into these Masters having a bye. And the opponent you're playing, sometimes they're qualifying, they're used, they're warmed up to the courts. And someone like McCartney Kessler, who's an amazing shot maker, having played Amanda Anisimova her previous match, she's in form. She looks good. She won the Hobart International. Despite the early exit at the Australian Open, the Zhang Shui, she's playing good tennis, ladies and gentlemen. And the reality here is we have an upset alert on our hands. And look how calm and relaxed she is. It's like another day at the office for her. Coco Gauff, on the other hand, I do feel that yelling too many errors. She does not want to give her opponents confidence and motivation. That's the last thing you want to do. And it's funny, that's just me being a competitor. Look, you have to have your poker face on. You can't let your opponent see you sweat, especially in a sport like tennis. And the announcer, as Coco would toss the ball, the announcer would say the same thing. Like, she's giving Kessler too many cues that, look, she's doing well and she's frustrating her. You can't, because the reality here is, if we look at the first set statistics, Kessler did not do anything outside of her average. She put up the same numbers she constantly puts up. The issue is Coco is struggling here. Coco's not winning the 80% of her first serves. She's not holding 80% of her service games. She wins 50% of all return games. Coco Gauff has not even converted on a break point. McCartney Kessler saved all 5 break point opportunities. This is crazy, guys. Look at her numbers. 59% of her first serves in. McCartney Kessler. 68% of her first serves won. A little bit higher than her average. 77% on the second serve. 10 winners. 20 unforced errors from both. Coco's just making too many unforced errors, and she's rusty. You need matches. When you are hot, and this, you have, upper management has to communicate with their players. This is for all tennis players. Yes, it's a long tour. It's a long, grueling schedule. It's a long calendar year. We know that. But when you're hot and you have your form, you have to ride that out. You can't stop and just think you're going to pick that form back up, no matter how great you are. When you're playing above the tour, when you're playing the best on tour, you have to keep playing. You have to work around that schedule. And I I didn't like it, guys. As McCartney Kessler right now, Coco Gauff is frustrated, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't seen her frustrated like this in a while. And again, McCartney, she's not doing anything special. She's playing her game. Coco's making too many mistakes, and she's not converting on the break points. If I were coaching Coco, just knowing how McCartney plays, she's got to get more aggressive. She's waiting for a rally player, and McCartney's actually she's playing a lot more aggressive than usual. Coco's got to step up early in these rallies, and she's got to start gunning. She's got to go for it, or this match is going to be over, guys. It's very tough to find yourself back into a tennis match when your opponent is playing so aggressive. Coco has to take control of these rallies early, but it's got to start for the first serve. If Coco holds, she's going to have to step up on defense. Tennis in a Minute will be back.